Dumelani, Sanbonani, Ninjani, Molweni, Afsheni, Tobelanda. Today we are doing property law only study guide for PVL3701. If you have any question or you have an assignment, you can send us and we'll deal with it. So yeah, you have to tell us what's your problem. So today we'll be answering questions, and let's go and answer questions. So today we are doing PVL3701 property law, which was written on 20 May 2022. Yeah, we started with this one, which is still fresh. Yeah, it's May, June 2022, and then we are going down. Should we start with this one? Let's start with question number 3. Let's start with question 3. Yeah, this one is good. So question 3 is 11 marks. Okay, yeah, it's 11 marks, right? Yeah, it's 11 marks. So let's deal with it. Question 3 says, Jacob and John are neighbors. Jacob is in the process of making renovations to his house. As a result, he decides to extend his house. However, the extension to his house unintentionally went over the border of his and John's properties. John notices that a part of Jacob's building is built on his land. He is upset and contacts you for legal advice. 3.1 Identify and discuss John's legal position and options available to him. So before you go on, before you even try to answer, you have to reread the question and understand, so that when you answer something that you are understanding. The question is all about you identify. Once you identify, you discuss the thing that you identify. Then after discussing, you further ahead by giving available remedy for the discussions, for that discussion. So let's start. So let's go and identify and discuss. Let's start with identify and discuss. So when we identify, we know now that the question is dealing with encroachment. It says encroachment is where owners encroach on their neighbor's land. The rules regarding encroachment come into operation. A distinction is drawn between buildings and the trees. So because here we're talking about a building, we'll go straight to building as a form of a discussion. It says the owner of the land on which an encroachment has taken place can use one of the following remedies. The owner can claim removal of the encroachment. The owner cannot, however, remove the encroachment because he or she cannot take the law into her own hands. Removal cannot be claimed if she stood by and with full knowledge of the facts did not insist on removal. The courts have discretion in deciding whether to order removal or payment of compensation. The court can order transfer of a piece of land encroached upon to the encroacher, and the case was given. Now, Roman figure 2, the owner can claim injectment from his or her land against payment of compensation for the enhancement of his or her property on the grounds of equity and convenience. The court can also order transfer of land encroached upon against payment of compensation. The owner can claim that the encroacher should take transfer of the land encroached upon and pay compensation, and the case of Lambert versus Fisher was given. This compensation is determined with reference to all costs of the transfer, the value of the land, salitium. So now we have finished dealing with this case. We know now we have answered, we identify encroachments, and we explain, we discuss encroachments. Then now when we are done with that, we are going straight to 3.2. Okay, you have heard about encroachment. We have dealt with this one. If you build your house or anything, it's a tree, it's what, and then you encroach into someone's land, it's encroachment. Then we have discussed it. Now we are going to 3.2. Describe Jacob's real relationship with the portion of John's land where Jacob's house is built. Now we are describing the real relationship that the Jacob has in that portion that he encroached. So let's go and discuss. I hope we understand these questions together. So that's where we go and look into owners. There are two. There's a bona fide possessor. We have a bona fide possessor. Let me do this. I don't know why it was, yes, good. We have ownership. We have a bona fide possessor. They say that a bona fide possessor can be defined as a person who is not recognized as the owner of the thing because she does not comply with the requirements for establishing ownership, but who has intention of an owner or on the incorrect assumption that she is in fact the owner. So it's called opinio domini. So this one is not applicable to the Jacob. Therefore, let's go to the other one. The second one is malafide possessor. A malafide possessor can be defined as a person who is aware of the fact that she is not legally recognized as the owner of a thing since she does not conform to the requirements for ownership, but who nevertheless has the intention of an owner. A thief is, of course, the best example. So in this question, we can conclude by saying that Jacob is malafide possessor. Malafide possessor. Because Jacob has encroached the portion where he doesn't own, then he's a malafide possessor. However, many of you are asking how malafide possessor came into the thing to answer. It's a real relationship. Let me give you some feedback so that you can know about property law if you are doing it for the first time. Okay, let's look into the relationship and then let's look at the original relationship at the acquisition of ownership so that you can able to understand. Let's look it quickly so that you can understand. Okay, in order to understand, firstly we must define ownership. They said that ownership is most comprehensive real right. So ownership is a comprehensive real right, meaning that if you have ownership against over something, then your ownership will be existing until you change the ownership. Then in this book you'll read about changing the ownership. Therefore, if you have never changed or transferred the ownership to other person, therefore your ownership still exists. Therefore, if you buy a car today, then I decided to come and use your car and claim that I'm the owner of the car. The fact that you have a real right or ownership over the car, it means that you own the car. Therefore, I am malafide possessor who's using your car illegally, as claiming to be owner of your car. There are many people out there who take their father's car and go around driving like is their car and claiming out there that they are the owner of the car. However, they are malafide possessor because it's not their cars. But there's an agreement because they are them parents. So I was just telling you so that you you won't be alarmed by the way we answer the question. And let me go another further so that you can able to understand about this ownership. Okay, in order to understand that, since many you are new to this property law, let me do question 4 so that you may understand. It's just a 9 marks, so it's not many. Let's go. Peter tried to remove a larger condenser from a shipwreck that was abandoned by its owners. He tied a rope with a bar to a larger condenser in the engine room. Together with its attachment pipes and contents, the condenser weighed about 63 tons. Jackie and Jimmy started to cut sections of the condenser loose to remove and sell them. Okay? Remember, Peter is the one who removed larger condenser from a shipwreck. Then Jackie and Jimmy, they started to cut sections of the condenser loose to remove and sell. They are not the one who remove a larger condenser from a shipwreck. Peter alleges that he acquired original ownership of the condenser. However, Jackie and Jimmy allege that they acquired ownership of the condenser. Then 4.1 is very easy. It says identify the mode of original acquisition of ownership that is relevant here. So this one is very easy. Identify the mode of original acquisition of ownership that is relevant here. This one was very easier. The answer is appropriation or occupation, which is defined as the unliteral taking of physical control of things which does not belong to anyone, but which is within the sphere of law, res in commercio, with the intention of become its owner. It's a res nullis. Res nullis is a thing that doesn't belong. To anyone. So if you find maybe an abandoned animal on the street, or even a chicken that is abandoned, then you decided to take it and as an owner, you appropriate it, then it's yours because there's no owner. However, it's a difficulty if you know the owner. But if you find something like a chicken on the street, then you find that there's no owner, then you appropriate it. You can appropriate it and become an owner via appropriation. Then we answer this question. It's very clear, and it's easier. So let's go to question number 2. Okay, 4.2, it says explain in detail who acquired ownership, Peter or Jackie or Jimmy. Who explain in detail who acquired ownership, Peter or Jackie or Jimmy. So let's go and explain who acquired ownership. To explain this, we have to focus on the case of Millie, which we are going to focus on the case so that we know who acquired ownership. Okay, in order to answer it, then we must further read. Let's read firstly this first paragraph of a fiscal control. They said that it is essential for acquisition of ownership by means of appropriation. The acquirer must obtain physical control with the necessary intention or the intention of becoming the owner. So let's go back and see who acquired a physical control with the intention of becoming an owner. Let's go. So here, the first person who acquired a physical control is Peter. Is the one who removed larger condenser. So Peter is the one who acquired a physical control. So what happened now? Let's go to step number 2. Since we are focusing on the Peter who has the physical control, then we will have to go to step number 2, which is to prove by the case of underwater construction and salvage which bank stated that ownership is acquired as soon as there is a seizure with the intention of becoming owner. Although theoretically there should be an intention to acquire ownership, other elements, particularly the element of physical control, can be indications of such an intention. So because Peter removed the condenser, Peter, according to the Banks J, he indicated intention of physical control as becoming an owner of an ownership. Then let's go to the number last step by focusing on the case. Here we'll focus on the case of the Rex versus Millie. The question is based on the case of Rex versus Millis. So in order for Peter to be an owner, to succeed, Peter must apply an interdict to show that he had a clear right to the condenser, that he had suffered damage, and that he is threatened by irretrievable damage, and that he had no other effective remedy at his proposal. Then Peter again can go through the spoliation remedy. So he can go, it's another remedy. So the first remedy was the interdict. The second remedy that he can use is a spoliation, which is a spoliation remedy mandament van spoli, which is based on the principle that the person who has been unlawfully deprived of his or her control must be reinstated in his or her original state of control before the merits of the case can be investigated. To succeed with this remedy, Peter must prove that he had free and undisturbed control, and that against his wish he was unlawfully deprived of such control by the spoliator. There must be a clear proof of control in physical sense. Then we have finished. We have answered this question in different way. Then we'll see each other in the next section. Please ask any question if you have a question. I know some modules are very difficult, especially those questions that require you to be open-minded, and you have to find answer wima. So I'm here to help you. If you got any question, just throw any question. Okay, we'll see each other in the next section when we continue to answer some questions. We'll answer all the questions before September. We have to be finished with this question paper, and we must go and do another question paper. Remember, we are now taking assignments. If you have any problem with assignments, send to us. Okay, good luck, guys. Thanks for watching in advance.